Hello, YouTube. The Kingpin of Cinema here with
The QB999.
He gets to introduce himself now. So, as y'all probably know, it's that time of the year when we get a new Magic the Gathering set.
This one, we are going back into the world of Mirrodin, because the world of Magic is circular.
Yeah, basically it's going to go creature types, to color types, to artifacts, to even maybe, you know, kind of slightly tribal, slightly not tribal, and then back around again. It's completely cyclical.
Now, first, before we get into this, let's say, Mirrodin was probably one of my more favorite sets.
Mirrodin is my third favorite set out of all the sets in Magic. So I'm like really glad we're going back to Mirrodin because it is just so awesome.
I just like the premise of the story. I liked just the whole world of Mirrodin. I really like the overpoweredness of the cards, because that overpoweredness was all around. It wasn't just focused in one color or one place.
And that set had some really great abilities, too. Some very, like, memorable abilities that I wish some had kind of stayed around. Well, a couple of them actually did. Double Strike did, and Equipment.
Yeah.
That's when Equipment came back.
Anyway, so the spoiler list for the new set just came out, so if you don't want to know what the cards are, don't watch, but basically we're going to go over our formula. You know, we each chose 6 cards that we really liked and we think really represents this set. We're going to go over them, talk about the new abilities as they come up, and what the major themes of this set.
Yeah, I'll go first, and this is, the first card on my list is going to be the one that everybody wants.
On the site, it'll tell you, like, okay, it'll show you under product information the most popular cards. This one is number 1, of course.
Yeah, and you know when you buy the Fat Pack and it comes with a little booklet that shows the top 10 cards, this will probably be number 1 too. Mox Opal. Now this goes into a new ability in this set called Metalcraft. Basically, when you have 3 artifacts in play, its ability goes off. What does this one do? Well, it costs 0, so free drop if you get it in your opening hand, and if you have the Metalcraft going off, you can tap it for any color of mana.
Now, as for us, that's not a huge deal, but in tournament play, it's stuff like this that can win games for you. You would think, oh, I could just get 4, put all 4 down on my first turn, and instantly have, like, the ability to create 4 mana from turn 1.
Nope, it's a legendary.
It is a legendary, so you can't do that.
So they did look ahead and kind of nip that idea in the butt. I mean, you know, there's a reason why in the early sets of Magic they did have artifacts that dropped for 0 and gave you 1 mana. And those are banned. You only way you could have gotten those again is if you had gotten the Relics pack, which nobody did because Wizards of the Coast sucks and didn't make enough of them. But that's a story for another day.
Okay, my first one is called Vesner the Saunterer. I bring him up because just the fact it's a new Planeswalker. We get 3 Planeswalkers in this one. This first up is Elspeth.
A new Elspeth.
A different Elspeth, though. It's kind of like Garruk, though. She's also one of the top stock cards already, because her ability, like Garruk, can be done second turn she comes out.
Yeah.
But basically, you have 3 Planeswalkers. Her, this guy who's a blue-white, and then you have a red one. It's kind of a weird combination of color schemes for the Planeswalkers. Normally, they're
either one of each color.
One of each color, but as we saw from Alara, they don't have to release all the Planeswalkers all in one set. They'll probably start releasing more as time goes on.
Yeah, the next set is probably going to have 2, and then the set after that's going to have 2, so we're probably going to get a total of 7 Planeswalkers.
According to the Kingpin, what he's told me, this story again revolves around Nicobolas. So he might be appearing again in the later set.
And Tezzeret's probably going to be coming back around as well, because I read the novels, and I follow the continuity, or the lack thereof, and so next set, we're in the 3rd set, we're probably going to get Tezzeret again.
Yeah.
And
so I just wanted to bring that card up just because we're finally getting new Planeswalkers. I'm tired of seeing the same old 5 original ones over and over again.
And I really need to get Vanessa because he's an actual character from the novels. That's my shtick. I collect characters from the novel. Deal with it.
On to the next one.
Now, for me, the next few cards on my list are all basically for the deck idea I have, which are Mire, or Mir.
One of our favorite creature types.
Which was my favorite creature type that came out in the original Mirrodin. So now I'm like so happy I can finally make a deck
just based off of them.
Just all Meyer or Mir or however the fuck you pronounce it. Just call him Steve. I don't care. And the next is Meyer Battlesphere.
Just the name is funny enough.
The picture alone is just a sphere made of Mir. Basically, it comes into play with 4 Mir. It's a creature itself. You tap X. It gets plus X plus O.
Well, you tap any number of Mir creatures.
Oh, that's right. You tap Mirs and it buffs it, but at the same time, it does direct combat damage to a player.
Yeah.
So not only is it getting big, but you're doing damage to your opponent as well.
A double whammy.
Yeah, so in getting a lot of Mir out in play, not hard. Not hard.
No, especially when you mix it with the old Mirrodin set. Not hard at all. Alright, my next is Contagion Engine. This is a rare card that when it comes into play, each creature, I don't remember if it's each opponent or just a target player. I think it's target player. Each creature a target player controls, they all get a -1/-1 counter. But the big ability is you tap 4, tap this artifact, and you get to proliferate. One of the new abilities in this set, which I'm pretty sure will come into play a lot. Because its ability is, you may choose any number of players or creatures and put another token onto it that's a copy of a token already on it. So if it has a -1/-1 counter on it, you put another one on. If a creature has a +1/+1 counter, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Now, it also says players because of another new ability in this set that's kind of a combination of 2 old ones. We'll get into that one when we come up to a card that has it. But for now, Contagion Engine I like because I think between this ability and the other one we'll discuss, it's going to make these games go by very fast.
Yeah, basically you're cheating. My next card is Meyer Galvanizer. Basically, he's a Meyer Lord. He gives all of them +1/+1, but you tap 2, and you tap him, and you untap all other Meyer. So if you have a bunch of Meyer that produce mana, you can get a lot of mana.
Now, this is an uncommon. If you have 2 of these guys out with a ton of Mir that make mana, that's basically almost an infinite combo there, I'd say.
Yeah, if you have enough of them out, if you have like 3 or 4, I think it's possible. You can do an infinite mana combo with these guys.
Because you have each Mir. There's 1 Mir for each color that can create a mana. So if you have just one of those out, and because his ability only costs 2, and you have 2 Galvanizers, just keep doing that. It's an uncommon!
This is an insanely good uncommon, and I can't wait to get him.
It's like Horseshoe Crab. It's a common or uncommon that should have been a rare.
That's my guy.
Okay. Next for me is just a fun creature I like. Platinum Emporium. Platinum Emporium. It's another highly sought after creature who makes it your life total cannot change. It doesn't prevent damage. It doesn't
increase your life.
It just can't change. You can't gain life. You can't lose life. Just your life total can't change.
And it also doesn't hurt that he's an 8/8.
Yeah.
That doesn't hurt at all.
It's just a funny card because it's one of the few cards that will actually stop damage from loss of life. Yeah. Which there are very few of those out there. Most cards will say, oh, prevent damage or combat damage, but it doesn't work for loss of life. This is one of the few cards that does. You
could probably count all the cards that prevent loss of life on one hand. So that kind of shows how insanely rare this ability is and how insanely good this guy is.
That's why this guy's one of the highly sought after cards now.
Yeah. My next one is Meyer Reservoir. And basically, it gives you 2 mana that goes towards paying for Meyer or Meyer activated abilities. And it did one other thing at the top of my head.
It returns an artifact or a mirror card from your graveyard to play.
So that's a really good land card. So a lot of people are probably going to want that one as well.
Actually, it's not a land. It's an artifact.
Oh, it is an artifact.
Yeah.
Okay. It can be used as a mana source. Yeah.
All right. My next card is Indomitable Archangel. This one...
Fucking angel.
This one is also a Metalcraft ability where you need 3...
artifacts. 3
artifacts in order to do its ability. Honestly, I cannot remember what it does, though.
gives all your artifacts Shroud.
That's right. Your artifacts are basically all protected after that. So I mostly did this one just to show off also the Metalcraft.
Yeah.
And also the fact that they're also doing angels again, too.
Yeah, everything that has Metalcraft does something different.
So the ability is very... The thing it has all in common is that you need 3 artifacts out in play to do it.
Yeah, which is not hard. I mean, my next one is Sword of Body and Mind, and this is yet another one that everybody's going to want to have, because it's insanely good.
Everyone wanted the Sword of Fire and Ice and the Light and Shadow, and now you got this one. Yeah,
because last time we didn't have something that was green. But what this does, it costs 3, and it gives target creature, when you equip it, +2/+2, protection from green, protection from blue. When it deals combat damage, they have to mill 4 cards.
10 cards.
10! You just think about that. 10 cards from their deck into their graveyard, and you get a 2/2 wolf.
Of course, he is probably the only one who cares more about the wolf than milling the 10 cards.
I have a green wolf deck, and I'm definitely going to get that for that.
Okay. My next card is Hand of Praetors. Now this brings us to the next ability that goes along with Proliferate. Infest. You might think, what is Infest? It's a combination of Wither and Poisonous. If it deals combat damage to a creature, it's dealt as -1/-1 counters. If it's combat damage dealt to a player, it's dealt as poisonous counters.
Now the rule with poison counters is if you get 10 of them, you lost.
Yeah, because that's actually a pretty old thing. I wasn't around for that ability. It's an old ability.
That's old school. That goes way back to even before Broken Alliances. That's been around for decades.
So, 10 poison counters, you lose the game instantly. Now this guy, he has Infest himself. He's also an Infest Lord, where he buffs up other creatures with Infest by +1/+1.
Good.
Whenever you cast a creature spell, you can give a poison counter. And mix this with Proliferate. That's what I mean about making matches very quick. You just focus on Infest and Proliferate. You infest the person, get a counter on them. Proliferate, put another one. You infest them again and get maybe a couple more. You proliferate more and get a couple more, and by the time you know it, the guy's dead.
Yeah.
Same thing with creature counters. You put a -1/-1 on each creature they control with Contagion Engine. Just double it up. Then you double it up again.
Yeah, I don't think... At the moment, a lot of people are kind of like going, well, we don't really, like, they're not really, like, looking forward to, like, you know, being that card's not really going to be, like, a sought-after card at first. But eventually...
As time goes on, they're going to see how good it is.
I guarantee, like, everybody's going to want that card.
Now, yeah, before we go on to our last cards, we're going to cut this video off because we're getting a little close to the time limit here. So we're going to start again. I'm surprised we actually had to go into a part 2 for this one, but we're going to be going into a part 2, so we'll be right back.